There has been a lot of talk in Washington about travel bans, but supporters of the greater trade with Cuba say restrictions with that country would amount to a travel ban on Americans. Cronkite News reporter Alex Valdez was at the meeting today between Cuban merchants and U.S. senators.
Recently, President Donald Trump tightened restrictions with Cuba. Today at a press conference, many Cuban entrepreneurs are saying the best way to help the Cuban people are to allow free trade and travel to their country.
After the announcement of President Trump, we have been losing a lot of clients, so I think I am about to lose my business.
Julia de la Rosa, a bed and breakfast owner in Havana, saw an increase in business when President Obama opened relations between U.S. and Cuba. But that was before President Trump scaled things back.
It was incredible 2 years ago when former President Obama opened the relationships. We really saw that it was an incredible opportunity for us to grow up.
President Trump's new policy is aimed at forcing Cuba to improve its human rights record while making sure American business goes to the private sector and not the military. But Republican Senator Jeff Flake echoes the words of De La Rosa, saying the change in Cuba comes from the American people.
A lot has changed in Cuba over the past 5 years in particular with the Cuban entrepreneurs. This is the untold story, really, of what's happened in Cuba. And it's because American travel has increased, both among Cuban Americans and ordinary Americans. And it has benefited Cuban people immensely.
De La Rosa said the new travel policy will not just affect her, but also the private subcontractors she uses to do labor around her bed and breakfast, an issue that both De La Rosa and Flake say can be avoided by allowing Americans to visit Cuba.
More Americans, I think, are doing that, and I hope that even more do. Why in the world we would want to restrict that? And remember that this travel ban we have is not on Cubans, it's on Americans, and so we ought to allow more travel.
Reporting from the Capitol, I'm Alex Valdez, Cronkite News.